Can we talk?
Here we go again. I'll put on my costume for you. For the 100th time, we've had this same conversation.
I've just really been feeling alone. Like, I feel unseen. I feel... Well, I can't even really feel my feelings anymore, to be honest with you. I'm not blaming you. You know, we're all responsible for ourselves. I don't know what to do anymore.
Can I have my script? Thank you. That didn't happen. And if it did, it wasn't that bad. And if it was, that's not a big deal. And if it is, it's not my fault. And if it was, I didn't mean it. And if I did, you deserved it. Amen. What do I do? Hello and welcome back to the Metamystic Show. Yeah, Two of Wands wanting to come out. The Narcissist'S Prayer. Even saying it, my throat closed off. Or their slogan, I don't care. And let's not just keep this to narcissists. This can be lots of different types of people, right? We have red jasper today for grounding, also for a little fire, because wands are fire after all. You know, you need a little chutzpah to get you on your feet if you're in a depression after somebody basically was like, I don't give a fuck. When you poured out your heart to them, your heart and soul, and we're trying to have an adult conversation. See, you want a lover's thing. If even a tiny bit of that sketch made sense to you, it's not a lover's. It's not a lover's situation. And lovers, you know, it's the card of the crossroads. It's a choice point. It doesn't have to be a person, right? This could even be you with you, you know, especially if we grow up. Trigger warning. Let's bring out TW right at the start today. Honk honk. Hello, everybody. It's TW, the Trigger Warning Clown. Just here for moral support. You know, a lot of us have grown up in situations that were, you know, pretty much this, right? And whether that was a sense of neglect, I don't care. Like, leave me alone. I don't care that you scraped your knee. I don't care that you're crying. I don't care that you're coming out to me. In fact, you're not that, and you're not allowed to be that. Or whether it's like more combative, like, I don't care, get out of my face. All you do is nag me. You know, you do nothing for this family. You're selfish. You know, it's not either or, it's both and. There's lots of different forms of abuse, right? There's lots of different ways that people can make you feel like an ant under their shoe. And, you know, ants can carry a lot of weight. So, you know, we're strong folks. I'm not saying we're not, but there is a time to stop and contemplate. Is this my life? Is this really my life? Is this going to continue to be my life? Because we do have the choice, speaking of the lovers. So, let's get some cards. Hello and welcome back to the Metamystic Show. Thank you everyone for being here. Always great to have you. This is a collective, timeless reading. Today we're going to look at the energy of the Narcissist's Prayer. It's basically, I don't care. And if I did something, it's not my problem. It's not my fault. Basically, there's nothing you can say or do here that will make me take any accountability at all. It doesn't matter if you walked in on me cheating on you with somebody else. It's somehow your fault. It doesn't matter if you literally have constructed a full thesis level, dissertation level judgment on me and my character, and 10 other people agree with you as well, and they're all coming to give me an intervention to declare to me that I probably need some sort of psychological assistance. I'm going to continue to sit in my stance, say all these people are crazy, and I'm the one who's actually the God in this situation, and how dare you even be around me, you peasants, right? Now, not everybody is that severe, but it's the energy of that. It's all on a spectrum today, speaking of the devil. So with the Narcissist's Prayer, a little bit different than praying the rosary, to even be able to have a conversation with a person like this, you need the help of our Mother Mary, even to, work up the courage to talk to this person, because they're a judger. And they have no right to judge you, that is. So let's take a look at this today and see what the cards have to show us. Let's try to remove our emotions from it and just look at this stuff logically, like the Queen of Swords, because sometimes that's all you can do. Like, I get eerily calm when I'm in a crisis. I don't know about you guys. I don't know if it's hypervigilance. I don't know if it's just because I was always in a state of trigger warning, fight or flight my entire life, pretty much. So for me, I actually kind of shine in a crisis, if I'm honest with you. Maybe if you're honest with me as well, right? So for some of us, this whole narcissist thing, or, even if they're not a narcissist, the energy of that with the devil, that's more normal to a lot of us here than whatever else is out there, right? But what we're going to do today is we're going to look at what our advice is. What is our advice for those of us who could be dealing with a situation like this? Or you're already out of it. This could even be something that you're thinking back on, a past relationship, things the way that they were growing up, etc. It's good to bring that stuff out of the closet every once in a while, just to check in with ourselves. And, even if we've healed a lot, there's still things that if we look at them, we can extract gems from those things. There's always reward in the suffering. You can always extract wisdom from what you've been through. And you can actually take that energy, you can harness that energy and transmute it even into something. You can transmute it into money. You can transmute it, I'm hearing, into fame. I wasn't going to say that. Ralph Waldo Emerson talks about, it's basically something like, I don't want money, I don't want fame, give me truth. So I feel like that's where a lot of us are at. It's like we want truth, we want justice, we want clarity. We don't want to always be living in a tower, but like I said, if that's a place we thrive in, sometimes we don't even realize we're still dealing with everything we're dealing with, and that's where the star energy comes in. Like I was saying, pulling that stuff out of the closet and just taking a look again, because some of us, we could be in much better situations currently than we used to be, but to somebody else, they'd be like, how are you in that situation? How are you at that job? How are you with that person? How are you dealing with that crazy landlord? Like, how are you living in that city? It's different for everybody, right? But with that said, sometimes there's just still, life can be better. Even if it's better than it used to be, it can get better. It can get even better than this. Can always get better. All right. So we're going to get 4 cards today for the collective. Ace of Pentacles. See, it's an opportunity. It's like finding a gold coin in your closet. Yeah, look, Empress. And cashing that bad boy in down at the pawn shop. I brought my gold coins down. I used to buy gold coins years ago. And one time I just sold one of my gold coins down at the local pawn shop. It was an American Gold Eagle. Those are the most common. And I just remember walking out with that check and just being like, wow, it was that easy. That's cool. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Our outcome magic card. For some of you, the person that I'm talking about today is a mother. Or another way to look at this is you're learning to become this Empress energy. You're learning how to have a greater and deeper sense of self-worth. And for some of us here, you know how people say you can't like heal in the same place that you were like destroyed basically with the tower. Some of us actually have to journey onward into a different location, you know, leave a situation, change something. Yeah, like so, see, for some of us here, here's this Queen of Swords, like right here. Let's see what she sees, right? This is like the hawk eye. This is the eye of the hawk, right? It's like looking through and seeing things how they actually are, not as we wish them to be, right? Because some of you are very Venus. You're loving, you're kind, you understand that people are learning, that nobody's perfect, right? But this is what the Queen of Swords sees. She sees very clearly, and she sees the devil. She sees something toxic. And again, this can even be an aspect of us. Like I was saying earlier, you know, if we grew up, like say this was your mother, for example, with the Page of Pentacles and the Empress, right? This can be a child and a mother. If you grew up with your mother speaking to you or just even neglecting you, like just removing love, sometimes we can internalize that stuff. And therefore, we can then have low self-esteem in ourselves that was placed into us by our parent, or that maybe your mother never said you were like attractive, or, you know, it's kind of weird to be like, you're attractive, but you know what I mean? Like parents say stuff like that, like, oh, that dress looks beautiful on you, or something like that. Like say your mother was secretly like weirdly jealous of you or something, or was in like competition with you. That sets up a very strange dynamic between you and yourself on the inside. And it doesn't have to be that, guys. I'm just using an example because the Empress is here. The Empress, I feel today, is more overall talking about us reclaiming our power, our self-worth, and seeing how valuable we really are. And surprisingly, with that Ace of Pentacles, the very things that made us feel like we were worthless, if we'll just take a peek at those are actually the gold coins. Because the only reason why somebody else would ever make you feel worthless is because they're looking at a gold coin. They either want it, they're envious of it, or they're trying to break it down because they're like, you're better than me, you're outshining me, so therefore I need to break this down. It's like you're standing in front of this, you know, whoever this Empress could be to you, could be a partner, right? You could feel small in front of this person, when really it's like the roles are actually reversed. They're supposed to be learning from you, but anyways, it's another topic. It's like you could be standing in front of them with this coin and you're just who you are, kind of humble even, and they're like either I want that coin for myself, or I need to break this person down so they don't create more of these coins and outshine me. So if we will look in that proverbial closet and bring out pretty much all the trauma, right? We will find that it's actually a bag of gold coins, right? Because the things that were targeted are valuable. They wouldn't have been targeted if they were not valuable, if you were not valuable, period. So it's worth taking a look. It's kind of like, that show Pawn Stars. It's like people find that, they or even like Antique Roadshow or whatever the heck those are, right? Certain items are vintage items that are worth like $10,000, dude. Like stuff from your lineage, the BS in your lineage, come to find, you can milk that. Talking about dark energy today, energy's energy. And you can extract that, transmute that, and turn it into a coin. And after a while, you keep stacking that. Empress. And I'm speaking in terms of like self-worth and emotional prosperity, but this stuff can absolutely, what starts within ends up outside of you over time. So it will translate to money. It will translate to physicality. It will translate to personality, even more confidence, right? But it starts on the inside doing this work. So that's what we're doing today. We're taking a look. Queen of Swords, she sees something is toxic and she can't unsee it, right? Even if it's something within herself that was placed there from someone else, right? But if it is an outside person, especially, she sees it clearly and she's making a very thought through judgment call. This is something, I'm hearing something about like 3 years. Actually, see how the devil is even holding up 5. So yeah, look, she's holding out her hand and he's holding up his hand. So I'm hearing something about like 3 to 5 years of like observation of something at the very least. Like maybe that's how long your healing journey has been, looking into this, freeing yourself from this past stuff, whatever it may be, right? So that's what we're doing today. Let's get into these cards and see. Let me actually just lay these out because I feel like this tells a really clear story. I love that the Queen of Swords is here today. She is very intelligent. Queen of Swords can be a doctor. She can be a psychologist, right? She knows what she's talking about. And even if she's not a professional, like I said, she's studied, like she's spent a long time, like possibly even, this could be you just watching YouTube videos about like what is a narcissist, what is an energy vampire, if you're looking at it from a more spiritual perspective, what are energy leeches, like how do people harness energy from me as an empath? Like, why are these things attracted to me, etc., etc.? Because the Page of Pentacles can be like a student, right? You could have started out on some sort of like spiritual journey, just trying to like better your self-worth, or it could even have been something as tangible as like, I need more money, I want to do better for myself. It doesn't always have to be this like profound thing, right? I'm a Taurus moon. Like, I like nice things, just like anybody else. It doesn't have to be that, but I'm just saying, it doesn't have to always be this like big spiritual quest. It can be like, hey, it would be great for me to be able to have my own condo, Marie Kondo. Maybe you're a Virgo like me. You like organization. You want your life to feel sane. Like, maybe it's not about like, oh, I want nice things. Maybe it's like, I wish I had my own freaking apartment so that I can actually like focus in my life. So I can write my book. So I don't have to deal with so much chaos every day in my life to where I can't even focus on my daily tasks. It could be something like that as well, right? And I feel like Queen of Swords, she's spent long enough on this, guys. She's making the judgment call, and this is an aspect of your psyche. Even if the wholeness of you is not ready to step forward yet, The Empress is all 4 queens. We only have 1 queen showing up so far at the very least. So we're missing the other 3 queens. Even if this higher self Empress version of yourself is not, or I should say it this way, it's the other way around. It's like if this 3D world version of yourself is not ready to fully embrace this higher version of yourself and the reality of that, and that you've been in this sort of low vibrational energy around you or even within yourself, and I'm part of this group as well, just being clear on that, I'm never just speaking at you, I'm speaking with you, and we're having a conversation, right? I'm by no means perfect and never will be, and that's a Virgo, 3 placement Virgo saying that to you today, so. But anyways, it's like there's one aspect of yourself that sees something clearly and you can't unsee it, and it is what it is, and you've made a judgment call whether you want to admit it or not. So let's look at these cards. Thank you everyone for being here today. I'm just going to hold this red jasper. Oh, this is Marker from my Marker. Someone's name could be Mark from this. I don't care. Okay. Card number 1. 3 of Wands. Remember how we started out with the 2 of Wands? This is a step further than that. Right? 1 step further to be exact. And I feel like this is in her mind. She is looking forward. Now that she has understood what she's understood here, and again, this could be about like a substance or something. You could be thinking like, it's making me feel like crap drinking like this, or overeating like this. Hi, I'm Italian. Anyways. Or it's making me feel like this or that, having this kind of like self-critical talk that I have in my head that I realize I've been doing against myself since I was a kid because it was placed in me by somebody that was meant to love me, a Venus energy that was meant to care for me. An Empress, that could be a grandmother. It doesn't have to be a woman either. This could be just a Venus energy that was meant to love you. And for whatever reason, this person is coming up as the Devil, right? So I feel like this Queen of Swords, now that she's seen it clearly, she's like projecting into the future. Sometimes I see the 3 of Wands as like future thinking. It can be a card of manifestation, right? Like people say he's waiting for his ships to come in. Some say that he's waiting to get on a ship and go out. Doesn't really matter. It's more a card of he was at the 2 of Wands. He was standing at his house where he's comfortable, holding the wand in his hand, thinking, all right, I'm going to do this. But he's saying, I'm going to do this. On the 3 of Wands, he's gone. He's away from that house. He's already on the journey, right? Whether he's coming or going, it doesn't really matter. He's going somewhere, right? And I feel like this is you, but this is more visualization, and I recommend that. There's a book called Psycho-Cybernetics that, believe it or not, I actually learned from my marketing teacher years ago, and she taught us a lot about visualization. And I always remembered that there's a lot of practices that talk about like, there's examples like if a basketball player visualizes them making the 3-pointer, they're a lot more likely to make a 3-pointer in real life. So if we start visualizing where we want to go, who we want to become, this is a card of expansion, growth, and moving on, right? In some way, shape, or form. Could even be something coming to you. Like I said, you could be manifesting something in. Like maybe you're kind of on the lookout. Like say you want to move, for example, and you're kind of just loosely, like maybe you're looking at condos or apartments or houses or whatever. Or maybe you're going on the road, whatever it is for you. and you're just kind of like keeping your mind and your heart open, and then all of a sudden it's like you see some sort of an ad for a place, or you see your friend posted something about like an apartment complex, or oh, there's this new apartment complex that's just being built, it'll be done, spring of 2026, and you're starting to think, well, next year, I wonder where I could be a year from now. Maybe I could get myself into that apartment complex. It's like, see what I mean? It's like the possibilities here. Card number 2 is the Ten of Swords. I feel like we start to get tripped up when we bring it back into the present reality. I feel like sometimes the Queen of Swords can be our best friend or our worst enemy, depending, because she can catastrophize. She is so smart. She does understand all the possibilities of the things that could happen, right? So she can also think. It's giving me this moment of like, like you're starting to like go off into the dream of your new and better life or situation, and then it's like, it's kind of like, like when your alarm goes off and you wake up from a dream and you're like, oh, this damn alarm. I hate that sound, man. Whenever I hear an alarm, and I always put alarms on my phone, so I always am like shocked when it comes on. This is that. I'm not seeing this as like, oh, it's another betrayal. No, I feel like this is a mental betrayal. And it's not really a betrayal. It's a mental ping. It's actually a neural pathway that's been created in the brain over time. It's kind of, I'm seeing that sign where it's like you come to the end of the road and it's a dead end. I'm seeing this as a dead end. It's like you've never been beyond this point. That's what I'm getting here. This is growth. This is something we as a collective, we are expanding. We're manifesting an expansion and a growth in our own situations and in our own ways beyond what we've ever done before. Where no man has ever gone before. Katy Perry went on the freaking spaceship. I felt love like I've never known. And it just reminded me of all the love that I have to give. It made me realize how much money I have and how much pull I have and how much press is on me right now. And I just want to cry because of that. Because I am everything that I could have ever been and ever will be. And that is what love means. Katy Perry actually has a very interesting story. She grew up a Christian. I'm not even demonizing Katy Perry. I'm just being an asshole. She has an interesting story. She grew up singing in the choir and stuff like that. So, that'll do it to you. Anyways. But yeah. This is a mental block, is how I'm seeing this today, this Ten of Swords. And it's the Queen of Swords. It's her own perceived future betrayal that hasn't happened yet, as she's daydreaming about this new life, is how I'm seeing it. Card number 3 is the Wheel of Fortune. It's your destiny to soar. It's your destiny to grow. It's your destiny to become the thing that you've been trying to become, for some of us, for lifetimes. This does feel like a Jupiter energy to me, and this card is Jupiter based, right? I feel like what we're seeing here is like this trumps, not political statement, in the same way the meta mystic is not a statement in me saying that I have anything to do with meta. Mark Zuckerberg would like for the word meta to be only associated with him and his company. But in fact, if you look up the word meta, it is an ancient word. And it's connected to many of my favorite words: metaphor, metaphysical, etc. Metamorphosis. So, anyways, this is a Trump card. And it's apolitical. And it's about growth. It's showcasing the fact that even if in our minds we're afraid of what could happen, this is what will inevitably happen, and you can count on this. Your destiny, your path will always expand beyond your mind. Because it's not mental. Jupiter, it's not a mind energy. Even though it's, Jupiter is very philosophical, right? Sagittarius based, or it was Pisces, right? So Pisces, Sagittarius, these are energies that expand beyond the 3D world, is how I see it, right? And the place that these sort of betrayals happen are typically in the 3D world, right? Even though today it's showing up as in the mind. I'm hearing gold mine. Again, it's like we let this stuff pop up. Let it pop off so that you can mine those gold coins from it. As you're in this transformational period and you're growing and you're expanding here and you're moving on your destined path, let this video be confirmation to you today that you are on the right path and you're moving that way. It could just, because the devil is right above this card. It's fear of what could happen again. And we've learned over time that those things, history does tend to repeat itself. Or what is that quote? It often rhymes. It doesn't repeat, it rhymes. So, Leanne rhymes. But sometimes it doesn't have the exact same story again and again and again. It's more just, this person, this woman I'm dating reminds me of my parent that was abusive to me, for example. All right. Let's just take a minute here. Just hold some Jasper. Casper the friendly ghost. As you're doing this, as you're expanding and as you're growing, even just in the mind, you're visualizing, you're planning with the Two of Wands at the start of the reading. These ghosts, they will start to haunt you. And I'm not trying to scare you. I'm just saying, if you bump up against that, you're going the right way. I would actually take that as a marker. Oh, good. I'm glad this is popping up. My fear's popping up. My past stuff is popping up. This is a good sign. That means I'm actually hitting... I'm seeing digging happening, and it's you're getting to that point where you can pull something out. I'm seeing fossils being dug up here. So you might feel you're, by expanding, it's bringing up these old wounds and stuff, these old fossilized things or ghosts. Again, first of all, you're going the right way, and that's how you know you are. You're hitting the mark in some way, bullseye. But number 2, remember, take all that stuff and put it in your pocket. It's yours. Don't be afraid of it. It's yours, right? If anyone knows about that energy, it would be these 2 energies, right? Capricorn and Taurus, right? It's as well as Venus and Saturn, It's luxuries, as well as this is money, tangible money. It's worth money. Don't discount your experiences. They're valuable. They weren't for nothing. And there's a lot we can learn from that stuff because a lot of it was karmic, right? And for some of us, we are actually cleaning up the mess of our ancestors, so to speak. And it's actually, you will be honored for this, for changing the course of your family line. So this is work worth doing. Card number 4, our outcome magic card. We have the Hanged Man. That Neptunian energy. I feel like this is the state you're going to feel in. State. You could be moving states with the Fool above this card. Now, the Hanged Man, I love the Hanged Man. Absolutely. There's a lot of things we can look at with the Hanged Man. Number 1, the Hanged Man sees things from another perspective, like we started off with. I feel like this Queen of Swords, it's like she's seen something and she can't unsee it. Seen? Like, remember back in the day, people were like seen? It was like alternative. You could even like realize something. I'm hearing something about like 2006 or something like that. Like you could even realize something from like a while ago that you picked up on a pattern of like a same person that you date, or like a same behavior you participate in or something. And it's like you're realizing something is what I'm getting. Because the Hanged Man is a card of enlightenment. You could be connecting dots. But I also want to say this, because this is symbolizing Neptune, right? And Neptune, it can make us feel a little bit confused sometimes, but it's also a good energy to harness when we're doing things like visualization, like I was talking about. Remember, I was talking about that dreamy energy. It's like you start going out, because Queen of Swords, she's very cerebral. I wouldn't really call her a dreamer. She's more of a thinker, and I love her for that. But when Queen of Swords starts bumping up against this Neptune energy, I feel like sometimes it can make her feel a little nervous. It's like she starts going out of her body a little bit. You know, it's Neptune. It's kind of like ayahuasca or shrooms or something. It's like you start seeing all these colors and you kind of just start going out, and it's such trippy, man, and you just start feeling like, yeah, like I could just be anything and do anything, and you know, everything is just like right here in the world. And then I feel like she starts to think, what do you mean right in the world? Nothing's ever been right in my world. I just heard that It's Naturally Supernatural, which was a show. It's a Christian show. Anyways, it just made me flash back to Nam here when I was thinking about that. So for some of you, stuff could be coming up from your like deeper past, and you could start to be like, wait, why am I remembering that? But anyways, this is actually a great energy to utilize. You can use it to your advantage. Yes, it can make you feel a little bit confused, especially when it's paired with like the devil. This could even be a person or an idea or a thing or I'm hearing a personality that could start coming forward and shape-shifting to change your perception of them. And you're like, wait, but are they actually a devil? Wait, those horns are kind of cute. You know, maybe my judgment was a little harsh here. You know, I'm being kind of a bitch. Let me pull back. You know, we all make mistakes, and then it goes back in the cycle again. Remember how I started off with, you know, we understand that people are learning in life, and everybody deserves a chance, and it's Venus energy, and it's balanced, and it's, you know, let's just let bygones be bygones. We'd prefer to have peace over war, abso-fucking-lutely. We know the game, and we're back in the cycle again. So let's just make sure that as we're doing this process, because if this is a person and you're doing this process and they feel you escaping their grasp and they feel you expanding and everything like that, oh, they're going to feel it, trust me, because you're probably connected to them energetically, especially if they're an energy vampire. They will be looking for their energy. So they're absolutely going to come in and try to convince you that everything that the 3 to 5 years that you just spent going through all of that, actually you were completely wrong about all of that. What were you thinking? And get back in your room. It's kind of like flashing back to possibly even when you were a kid. It's like, oh yeah, wait, this feels more familiar. This feels more comfy. I'm being treated like shit. This makes me feel right. I'm home. I'm home again. It's like, no, you're not home again. You were never home. You were never home. I remember when I was a kid, I packed my little sack and I walked around the block, and I remember I went and sat inside of a bush. My parents didn't even notice I was gone. By the time I went back home, I was like expecting them to be like looking for me and stuff, and they didn't even notice I was gone. So anyways, it's like there could be something like that here that happens where it's like you go through this whole like experience of like, I'm done with this person's a devil, or this situation's devilish, and you like pack your bags and you drive like 2 hours away, and you go to the beach and you watch the waves. That's very like Piscean, right? You're just like, I'm just gonna, and I have a lot of 12th house in my chart. You're like, I'm just gonna go to the beach. I'm just gonna go watch those waves. It's like you have this whole spiritual experience, and then you drive back home. When you drive back home, you see it's like this person didn't even freaking notice you were gone. You could have been gone for like 2 days. Anyways, because like I said, it's a spectrum. Like some of us here, it's like more neglect of I don't care, and for others it's more of a domineering, controlling, like trying to like possibly even like verbally like abuse you, and saying like, I don't care about what you want or what this or that, like, you know what I mean. We don't have to go there, but you've already made the call. If you really want to think over things again, you know, because Queen of Swords does that, and I'm not saying she's wrong for that. You know, we can take as long as we want to come to these conclusions and to actually make a move. There's no time limit. You know, this is not like the universe. You know, it's a lifetimes thing. It's like one lifetime for the universe is like a regular freaking Tuesday. Like, they're looking at a lifetime. We're looking at like the next 7 days. They're looking at the next 7 lifetimes. You know what I'm saying? So there's no rush here. This is more just letting ourselves kind of drift. And again, it's not very comfortable for Queen of Swords to do this. Let ourselves drift into that Neptunian haze and imagine what life could be. Let ourselves expand with this Jupiter, Neptune, thinking of all the possibilities. And I mean, with the Empress, Venus, and Jupiter, this is like money, luck, fame for some. Let yourself dream. Let yourself visualize what would happen if I left, or what would happen if I expanded, or what would happen if I wrote that book, or what would happen if I, you know, whatever the thing is that you have been wanting to do that maybe you've been blocked, either just because your environment has been like toxic or negative, or again, this can be inside your own mind. At least it's safe inside my mind. SpongeBob. Where he goes into that, like, I think he goes into the future too far or something. The future! So, with this Neptune energy though, but the final thing I want to say on this is that it is kind of psychedelic. So if we can pull out and ground ourselves back into the reality again, because some of us like astral travel and that sort of thing, or you have visions and dreams, you know, Piscean stuff, the stuff we love, right? Where, you know, you could have even been shown like a dream or a future timeline or something like that, where you're more abundant, you're happy, you have a lot of confidence, you have self-love, and this is just like hold that vision and infuse that vision into this more tangible reality with the wands, where it's like, wait, but I actually could do that though. Like, wait, they actually are building a new apartment complex. I could actually move there. So let me spend the next year getting my credit up so that I can move. let me watch a couple YouTube videos on like what does it take to move, like if you've never moved before or you've never done it alone, or type some stuff in on Reddit, like what if I have nobody to help me move, how do I move my stuff. You're gonna find that there's moving companies, there's, you know what I'm saying? It's like making this stuff, dream it up, dream a little dream, and then think about how we can make it like tangible. And this doesn't have to be moving, guys. It doesn't have to be that. It can just be, but this episode, it's centered around this energy of I need to get out of here. But that's the thing that gets kind of like complicated, is that sometimes this is all in our mind. This could even be something from 10 years ago that you're still battling in your head. Like that sketch that I did at the beginning, that could be something that happened a long time ago, where you felt like you were pouring your heart out to somebody and they literally did not care. In fact, it was, let me just read this one more time because it's so good. I actually, believe it or not, like I actually got this from ContraPoints. So anyways, the Narcissist's Prayer. That didn't happen. And if it did, it wasn't that bad. And if it was, that's not a big deal. And if it is, that's not my fault. And if it was, I didn't mean it. And if I did, you deserved it. And with the Four of Swords at the bottom of the deck here, it's a card of healing. Again, it's mental. So for some of us, this is like brain healing that we're going through. This is coming to terms with those demons in the closet, so to speak. Really not so to speak for some of us, because these are like... I'll speak 12th house just for a minute and I'll end on this. For me, ever since I was a child, there were entities that would just like stare at me in the night when I was sleeping in my bed when I was a kid, and I would shiver and shake to the point where I had like a physical fever, like I was drenched in sweat. And it's probably just because I was like psychic, like a lot of us are here, or, just spiritual gifts where you're able to pick up on stuff. The more I would look at that in the corner, the more, and it wasn't like, oh, I was just so scared. It was that the energy coming off of it felt like it was like a murderer. It felt like a murderous, hateful energy that like literally wanted to kill me. Like when I was a child. So for some of us, it's not so metaphorical here. It's, these demons are things that are able to still hold on to our minds because we haven't healed possibly even stuff that is from a past life, or it's in our family lineage. Like we could have a family lineage of like drinking, for example, and we're struggling with it too. We didn't ask for that. We were just born into it. That was the hand we were dealt, right? And by you, going to AA or, it doesn't have to be drinking, guys. I'm just saying as an example, like by you doing that, by you working the steps, etc., it's like this guy starts to look just kind of like a funny friend. Like, oh, look at him. He's just a funny guy, right? It doesn't seem so scary anymore. So for some of us, this is all in the mind, but for others, this is a physical, like, person we're trying to, like, get away from, or just some sort of, like, situation that we're trying to move on from today. And again, the advice is to start dreaming and thinking about how we can actually do this in the real world to have a better life for ourselves. So I love you guys so much. It's been Missy Gordon, the Metamystic here. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. I always love to read your comments. It's great to hear from you guys and to know that this stuff resonates, and to hear your stories if you feel comfortable sharing. And please be respectful to others in the comments. It takes a lot to share what you've been through, right? So let's show support to the people that do share. And I'm sending love to each and every one of you. I love you guys. And remember, you can always listen to this show on Spotify and Apple Podcasts every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 9 a.m. EST, as well as on my YouTube channel at The Meta Mystic. And if you want to book a personal, you can always just send me an email if you're interested. And I want to thank everybody who donates to support the show as well. I love you guys, and I'll see you on the next one.